Hi, I'm Peter Breen. Thank you to the League of Women Voters of Wheaton for hosting this virtual forum. The reason I'm running for office is for my kids and all of the young people who are looking at a future in Illinois and wondering what will be there for them. You know, one of the saddest moments of the past few years was putting my wife's little brother and his wife and their little girl, Lucia, who's a play friend of my son, Matthew. We put them in the U-Haul and unfortunately lost them out of state. My brother-in-law, Mike, said to me, "I just don't see a future for myself in Illinois." And for him and for hundreds of thousands of others, that's been their story. We have to turn this around, especially in the time of COVID, where our economy has been crushed. The competitive disadvantage of Illinois, where we're known as being the most corrupt, the most bankrupt, and the worst place to start a business or run a business in the country, is really going to hurt our recovery. We have to make a significant change. Otherwise, we are going to be left behind, as against all of our neighboring states and many other states across the country. My family moved here from Nashville, Tennessee in 1986 to find economic opportunity. And we moved to a DuPage County and a state of Illinois that had one of the lowest income taxes in the country, a flat 3%, property taxes at the national average, sales taxes that weren't too onerous, and we had great schools and great services. Since that time, unfortunately, government officials have raised all of your taxes and not provided you extra services. This graduated income tax hike is going to pull more and more money out of our county, DuPage, and we're not going to get anything else back for it. It's not the way to bring us to a better economic future or to reform our broken state government. Illinois government today spends more money than it ever has. So the issue has not been the amount of money coming in, it's the way that we are putting it out. Corrupt politicians in Springfield have been feathering their nests and putting money into their pet projects instead of focusing on the needs of our most vulnerable. There is more than enough money with a proper budgeting process in order to fund every legitimate and significant need that we have in our state. We can be a kind and caring Illinois without being a corrupt Illinois. I was honored to be 100% rated by the Illinois Environmental Council for many of the years I was in the state legislature. I also was right in the middle of the negotiation on the last major piece of renewable energy legislation that we had, the Future Energy Jobs Act. You know, that bill started out as a corporate giveaway and full of pork barrel projects. Through careful work and negotiation, we were able to strip it down. There was still too much in there, but we were able to get back so many good things for renewable energy, including bringing our spending back here to Illinois, and we were able to then become the country's leader in clean energy. I want to continue that record with the Clean Energy Jobs Act. The form today, I want to take a good hard look at. I've got to tell you from my experience in our past major piece of legislation, you've got to do more negotiating. It's never in final form when it starts off. When I see that final bill, I am very hopeful and confident that I'll be able to support it along with the supermajority of members of the Illinois House. But again, until we see that final form, I won't make a commitment, but I will commit to work very, very hard to get it there. The number one way to improve the environment for ethics in Springfield is to impose term limits. It's career politicians that are destroying our state government. Now, there are a raft of other proposals as well. So preventing lawmakers from becoming lobbyists right after they leave office, cutting back on certain contributions by interest groups. All of those things need to be considered, and I think we need to take an all of the above approach. You know, if it's a good idea, we probably need to try it. I mean, we are the most corrupt and bankrupt state in the union. We have to do everything we can to try to reverse that. We can look especially to our neighbors like Iowa and Wisconsin, which have reputations that are precisely the opposite of Illinois, And the people of those states are much more confident in their legislatures as a result. Send me back to Springfield, and you will have a vote and a voice for economic recovery, for reform, for cleaning house of the corruption that has just gripped our state and has dragged us down. With me, I've got a record. I never lied to you. I always told you the truth. And you don't get that out of a lot of politicians nowadays, unfortunately. When I told you I would oppose Mike Madigan, I meant it, and I went down there and voted against him for Speaker, and then became the floor leader, so that I was the lead debater against him and his agenda on every bill that came to the floor. This district, our home, had a representative in Springfield whose voice was loud and clear and always heard. And I always voted for your interests, not those of Mike Madigan and his corrupt political machine. I've never lied to you, and I never will. You deserve the truth.